Tim Walz and J.D. Vance are preparing for their first and likely only debate of the 2024 election. And this may be the last debate between any of the candidates this year before November, when voters head to the polls. Here are 3 things we're watching for in the vice presidential debate. First, how will this debate shape the election and the issues surrounding it? Will J.D. Vance be more focused on an issue such as immigration, where Trump was diverted into a tangent about the size of the crowds at his rallies? For Tim Walz, will he make a more forceful argument on issues like the economy and inflation, where Kamala Harris instead pivoted to attacking Trump and didn't really answer questions about what her own plans would be? Walz and his wife have talked about how they've used fertility treatments. Will abortion be a key message for the Minnesota governor to deliver on the stage? And then there's foreign policy. Trump notably wouldn't say whether it was in the US best interest for Ukraine to defeat Russia in their war in Eastern Europe. What will J.D. Vance, who's represented the more dovish wing of the Republican Party, have to say on stage? For both of these candidates, the debate threatens to amplify some concerns that voters already have about them, or could help them move past those concerns. For J.D. Vance, it's representing some of the more extreme elements of the Republican Party. For Walz, Republicans have attacked him for allegedly embellishing his military service. How each candidate is likely to approach this debate, I go back to their convention speeches. Both were heavy on biography. Vance talked about his upbringing, a lot of which he outlined in his memoir, Hillbilly Elegy. For Walz, his speech was like a halftime locker room speech delivered by a football coach, which of course Walz was in a previous career. There are limits though to how much the 2 vice presidential candidates actually represent the ticket. We've seen Donald Trump contradict things that his running mate has said, and J.D. Vance has acknowledged that sometimes he gets out in front of the principle. The same thing might happen with Tim Walz, who's known for winging it in public appearances. So how much will they hew to what their campaign stances and their campaign platforms actually are, especially in a debate where they're being pushed on sometimes uncomfortable topics? That's something I'm watching closely. Notably, vice presidential debates have had their fair share of zingers over the years.
Senator, you're no Jack Kennedy.
Let me just say, first of all, that I almost resent Vice President Bush, your patronizing attitude that you have to teach me about foreign policy.
With all due respect, that's a bunch of malarkey.
And why is that so?
Because not a single thing he said is accurate.
Ultimately, in most cases, voters choose their candidate based on the top of the ticket, not who's running for vice president. And Lloyd Bentsen and Michael Dukakis didn't win their election, nor did Walter Mondale and Geraldine Ferraro. The Biden debate did matter, and arguably in 2008, Sarah Palin's uneven performance helped reinforce voter perceptions of John McCain's choice for his running mate in that election. So these vice presidential debates can matter, but probably only a little bit. Avoiding that moment and turning the page and the focus onto the 2 presidential candidates is probably their main goal.